Welcome to whitewallmachines.com. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to buff a rubber using the 25mm buffing wheel. This is a fairly new rubber, it has tyre shine on it, so what we're going to do first is clean the tyre shine off. I've already placed the machine underneath the car, the wheel's spinning freely, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. It's always best to clean the wheel when it's got some tyre shine or arm oil on it. Give it a good wipe first, so that way when you are doing the buffing, the excess rubber doesn't just stick all over the rubber. It does make it a whole lot easier to clean afterwards, so just give it a quick wipe. Now you'll notice the high profile tyre, most of you will be starting off, will probably be using the high profile, so that's why I've chosen to use this kind of tyre. Now also you'll notice the curve of the wheel and the flat surface on the buffing disc, so I'll show you most of the disc won't hit the rubber. Now when we buff we want to be going anti-clockwise, so there it is. Now I'll just bring it down again. We know that the center of the tyre, and that's where we want to be. So if you can zoom in, Mr. Cameraman. Can you see that? Get in the top there. That's where we want to be. So we're missing the writing on both sides. We want to try and make it as easy as possible for ourselves in this case, because most of you will be just starting out. So there we go, I'll start the grinder up, I'm good to go. Now you can see there it's nice and even. I wasn't pushing too hard. Created a nice flat surface big enough for the applicator that I'm using. And we just dust off the rubber. So I will show you again how to clean the tyre using some wax and grease remover. You want to slow it right down and give it a good scrub. Check out your surface, make sure it's nice and flat, which in this case it is. And if it isn't, then you'll have to go over it. So you can see most of the disc doesn't touch the wheel, but it doesn't mean you have to push too far too far in. It's not you can barely see it. If I do stop it, you can barely see that there's any step in the rubber. It still looks pretty smooth, but it is flat, so I can use the 13mm applicator. So a lot of people do dig into the tyre too much, and they give themselves a lot of problems. So in this case, that's how you want it to look. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but I will take photos for you before I apply the paint. And now you can also see the fluff. So that's why I choose to use a little wire brush. Turn that back on there. That's why I choose to use the little wire brush, just to get all those little particles off, and that way it's a nice clean surface for the paint. So there you go, that's how you buff using a 25mm buffing wheel. Some of you might find it easier to use the 15mm, but you have both options there, and neither of them are causing any damage to the rubber, and neither of them are that noticeable. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thanks for watching.